Last week we came back with an introduction from our long vacation, and we did a lot of kind of monologue to get people caught up, left out the learning in between, and hopefully this week we're back in a more yeshiva-style classroom. And we did instruction, Musar and Hebrew, over the last two classes, even though they were 3 months apart, or whatever it was. And you guys are giving me a one concurring that you feel confident and secure in an up-to-date understanding of to know wisdom and instruction. Is that correct? All right. And Travis, have you had an opportunity to get caught up on the previous material? To know all those things of the Hebrew? Okay. So then we're bound to go into the English dissection of the word instruction. You guys ready for that? Now, what's our goal? Our goal is to go into the English, and we should find the expectation that as we are understanding instruction and rebuke, right? Call it the matrix. You end up in God ends you up in a building, and you have two ways to get out of it. One is to kind of allow yourself a type of death and succumb to pressure. Or how about this? Demand that Morpheus explain to you why. This is my new thing I'm working on. I think in the real matrix of life, Neo would have demanded from his friend Morpheus, why do I have to choose this way? You should help me out. Where are you in the mix of things? Why do I have to do this? Morpheus says you can go out by the scaffolding or by Smith. And Smith is always going to be someone that Neo knows. And it's going to be Morpheus is going to get blamed. And I just want you guys to consider this point, because I'm personally in this situation a lot. I think everybody is. And just if it pops up in the middle of the class, tell me. All right. I just want to put this in the back of your minds. Why? What do you call in the true Neo instruction program? By the way, this is the first time I'm using this microphone. How's it coming through? I just want to do a quick sound check. First, it's a USB headset mic. I've never used it before. This is one of my little additions I bought for the office during the break. Yeah, really? That's interesting. All right. Why not? When I got the new computer in Texas, I made my old research stand in my office, which is a little guy, into my old computer, which is still working good. So now I have a research stand back here, and I kind of like it. It's the same office, but it's a different point of view. Hold on, let me just turn the temperature in the office. 1 second. The BTUs get going. It's a different atmosphere once we learn Torah. So, why does the instruction Musar program of God beating up Neo blames Morpheus? And in real life, the movie of the Matrix, in the real movie of the Matrix of life, it would have been about Neo ending up in the office, but the star player would have been Morpheus being beat up by Neo. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying change the movie. I just want to paint a different picture. What do you call the real life when it really is about Neo? Right? It really is about Neo, but the movie would have shown Morpheus would have been receiving the Musar instruction. So I want to talk about this more at length later on. This is a crucial thing, I think. I'm finding it in the Ger work for sure. So, anyways, just keep that in the back of your minds. It's something to be said. Anyways, we had Neo in the office. He has to pick which way to go. He succumbs to pressure. He doesn't take the rebuke from Morpheus. And again, yeah, it's hitting my mind. Like when Morpheus says the scaffolding, real life has Neo. Because look, hold on one second. I know I said to move on, but in real life, wasn't Neo upset at Morpheus at that moment? This is the introduction here. In real life, isn't Neo mad at Morpheus? You know, in the script we see he got the phone. He was mad. But the Hollywood drama doesn't emphasize that relationship. But in the real Neo's mind, he is really shouting out at Morpheus. And he's thinking, why aren't you here to help me? Right, he's not happy. So who's he not happy at? The cat? Right? He's only not happy at Morpheus. And that's my question. That's my question. How is Morpheus to understand God's rebuke? Because God sent Morpheus to rebuke Neo, yet Neo was sent by God to rebuke Morpheus. My thinking has considered Morpheus more as the gear, or at least the one that got gear. He definitely got gear, and Neo didn't. And I think this is what we're experiencing in Facebook land, isn't it? Right? God sends the gear to be the stick that whips the Noahide Neo, and then Noahide Neo is the stick in response that whips Gear Morpheus. And I think Gear Morpheus has to ask, from the perspective that God is whipping him, what is the message Morpheus is to receive from God's whipping stick? Capiche? You guys get this? Think about it, because I'm stuck on that one as well as you are. You know, Lars, the idea is like this: if you are in the know and you are wise and you are being sent to deliver a hard message for someone to swallow, they're going to resist you by definition. And when they do, you get hurt. So in the end, you were sent by God, like Morpheus to Neo, and you were not sent by God to lend your services. So, but you're threatening Neo by saying you have two choices, neither one are good, and I'm not here to help you. Yes, not understood. And so then the blame comes on Morpheus. If Neo would have attempted the scaffolding and hurt his knee, who would he have blamed? Morpheus. I only went out the window because you told me to. I mean, this is like sports 101, right? We would have won the Super Bowl. I threw you the ball. You could have either caught it or dropped it. You chose to drop it. Well, why did you throw the ball right in front of Ray Lewis for me to get smacked? Because that was the only place I could have thrown the ball. Well, did you ever think about throwing the ball in a better spot? And then the question on the quarterback or on Morpheus becomes, why didn't I throw the ball in a place that he wouldn't have gotten smacked? Or why did I throw the ball so hard so that he wouldn't have dropped it? And so there is blame on Morpheus, the quarterback. But at the end of the day, more to stick to the movie showed that Neo was the character of emphasis. He was the one receiving the instruction, like in Proverbs. But in real life, which is why football is a good analogy, what happens to the one carrying the stick? Right? The cop, assaults a criminal, or in Israeli news today, the Israelis are shooting terrorists, right? And what happens? The news reports that the Israelis are the evil ones. And I'm saying this is how life works. And I don't know why. Only because we understand when we're not giving instruction, and we can then receive instruction. But if I'm the one giving instruction, how are we to understand that the giver of instruction then receives instruction back? I'll give you two answers that pop into my head. Answers as in, I don't know what they are. How about this? It's a kasha, but how about this? It is a good kasha. It's a very good kasha. But here, and I'm not giving a teretz. That's why I say I'm not giving the answer. I'm giving kind of I don't know, what do you call it? How about Newton's third law? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And this goes with my class tomorrow. I like where this is going. Guys, I think you like this. Tomorrow's class is about the transition, the Job thing, right? You guys, those of you that were there understood it. And what was I saying about grieving? Grieving is the body, right? It's not about how your soul feels, because your soul can get over it, but your body's in trauma, right? Your body goes, and your body's very sensitive. I mean, come on, one little virus of cold, and you're sniveling and curled up in bed with chicken ball soup, and you're a mess. One little virus, you're a mess. You don't want to talk, you don't want to play, you want to cry. That is the body. The prayer you make when you come out of the bathroom is in Torah is thank you basically for letting my body work, because my body's pathetic. That if it didn't work right, I'm a tiniest little thing, I'm in trouble. Anybody that's had kidney stones can attest to what I'm talking about. Give me a 1 or 2 on that one. I'm a big one on that one. Right? You will cry like a little baby on kidney stones, man. You don't want it. And it's such a small thing. But, man, you're shut down on that one. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If I hit your body, you're going to hit me. Correct? Because the body is physical. It's a reaction, Lars, right? If I hit your body, it will at least make some kind of convulsion towards me, right? You can't control the body like that. There's going to be some kind of reaction or aggression in the physical sense. Now, your midot, your character traits in your soul may be governing your body, but there's going to be some kind of trauma to your body that you can't control. I mean, it's like if I knock the wind out of you, you're going to go, ugh. Even if you're Bruce Lee, you're going to go, ugh. So you can't control it. And that's the essence of martial arts, in wrestling also, is to try and get your body without any chink in the armor. That's wrestling 101, right? Being comfortable, being uncomfortable. That way, if you get me in a stranglehold, no matter what I do to you or you do to me, I can exist and get out of it. That's the goal. That you can't use my body against me. So what do? You train your body to be a work of art, all perfectly fortified. But sticks and stones may break my bones, and words will always hurt me. That's the reality of it. Words are always going to hurt your body. Everybody will get hurt by words, and even though it's your soul that might be hit, I think you're how do I attack your soul? You're ugly, and you say, okay, he called me ugly. What can I do? All right, he's not a nice guy. He's got issues, and your soul says, "Woof, we dodged a bullet there." He said I was ugly, and I know I'm not. I know I'm beautiful. But I never said your soul was ugly. I said your body and your physical were ugly. And that leaves trauma. That's why it's the most pathetic attacks hurt. Right? Neo would have said to Morpheus, I got a boo-boo on my knee. It's your fault. Morpheus would have felt horrible. How can this guy blame me for a boo-boo? You see how radical the tide has turned, right? God sends the instruction, the Musar, to Neo from Morpheus, right? Your soul is in danger, Neo. You have to use your free will and wisdom to get out of here. And Neo then, he doesn't have wisdom. So he's making it a bodily thing. What am I to do? Where do I go? But he's saying to his body is saying, what left or right? Meaning, oh, dude, I got to get up. I got to get out of my chair. Oh, come on. I was watching YouTube. Oh, man. Now he's telling me to go out the scaffolding? I can't be opening up windows, and I don't even know how to operate a scaffolding. And Smith is going to, put handcuffs. That'll hurt. That'll hurt. Imagine that in the wrestling room. Right? Hey, Stanek, put a full Nelson on the kid. Oh, I can't be putting his elbow to his ear. That'll hurt. And then we got to sweat it out. And that's where that is. So it's very trauma on the body. Because Neo wasn't operating in the mochin, in the intellect. I like where this is going. You guys want to go on this thread, or do you want me to change it to more to get onto the Mishlei? I kind of like this. Give me a 1 or 2. All right. So we're gonna get into Mishlei. No worries. I like this thread. And so when Neo is hit in the body because his mind is turned off, he's in moron man, then he's going to lash out only as he understands it, right? You want me to get up? Well, where are you to help me get out the window? Why aren't you opening the window for me? If you want me to live, where are you? So, on that side, we can understand now why people are feeling attacked, and then they attack. And then when you're attacked, you don't understand why it hurts. You're saying, I know it's not a good thing, then why does it hurt? And the answer is because old buddy boy just kicked you in the face. And you're saying, I didn't kick you in the face. And he says, yes, you did. You say, no, I kicked you in the brain. I headbutted you. And he says, yeah, with a physical, cranium or whatever it's called. And so this is what we find. The wisdom of breaking your head open. And learning a Torah, you literally call it breaking your head. But if you don't know you have anything in your head to break, then you literally internalize it as this guy is trying to crack my skull. So I'm going to yell, ouch, and then punch you. And then I say, that hurts. Why did you punch me? But they don't punch you physically. They punch you the way you punch them. And I punched you to break your head open in wisdom. You punched me to say, hey, how does your brain feel? But the thing is, it looks spiritual when you say, why does that hurt? And I think I just made a circular argument, and I think now I understand. How about this? I really do think I just worked this out. When you give wisdom to somebody, it causes because what does Solomon say? Who gets wise, or how do you make someone? How does it say? Someone can only become wise he who previously or already has wisdom. So if you don't have wisdom, and you're trying to give them wisdom, all you've done is cause physical harm to their body. And then you assume you gave them wisdom, and they attack your body, and it looks like a rebuke from God on the same soul level. But it's not, because it's a bodily level. You're yelling and complaining. It hurts because they hit your body. So Morpheus gave Neo a whack to the body when he had intended to give him a whack to his soul, his mind. Morpheus would have gotten hit back with a hit that looked like to the soul, but in fact it was to the body. The bodily hit is what's called in Hebrew a kapara, an atonement. And I think in the Ger world, this is what's going on. We're being beat up. And now I think I understand why. They feel beat up. We're trying to give them wisdom, and they are beating us up because they're being beat up. But it's our responsibility to give them wisdom. So I think the tikkun, the repair, is how, if you're destined to hit the guy in the body. Well, hold on a second. Maybe not. If you're destined, if you now know that you're beating them up physically, the question only becomes, can you give somebody wisdom physically? Or how do you override their body to get to their mind? That's going to be a challenge that I'm going to present this challenge from here on out. Just know that wherever you are spreading wisdom, and me too, this is it. You are physically abusing people. And then they physically abuse you, and you say, why am I abused? And they can't understand why they're abusing you, because it's a reaction from the trauma of the body that you put them in by you abusing their bodies when you didn't even know you were doing it. But it's not that you were trying to abuse their body. You were trying to give them wisdom. And literally there was a physical wall in front of you, and you penetrated it, and it hurt them. But they know you're not trying to hurt them physically, but they still say, ow. And then you say, there's no way that hurts. I'm not here to punch you. Ow. And they love you, and they don't know why they feel abused. And so then they punch back, and you really say, ow. And you're trying to take it as a soul thing. Like, if I gave out wisdom and I'm being beat up, it must be God giving me wisdom. I think here's the answer. Loretta, I got the answer. I forget if it's Job or wherever it is. There is an infinite amount of wisdom in the body. I mean, Brian, you should know this. Martial arts is really successful the more you know the human anatomy. I mean, that's 101. That's why I was a horrible wrestler. I didn't use pressure points because I'm really not into putting excruciating pain into people. It's not what I find fun. But I watch my wrestling video. That's right. That's why I could never do it. There's something called the cross face, Loretta. It's where you put your forearm, the bone of your forearm, across the bridge of their nose. It is the worst. And then guys that are good at wrestling, they love the crossface. I'm saying there's no way I can put another human being through that. So I'm thinking this, that when we give wisdom, they hurt us because, and this is a very powerful thing I'm about to tell you, they are revealing to you the wisdom of the physical universe, in particular the body. That's a valuable wisdom. See what I'm saying? By God allowing them to beat you up, is like getting martial arts training. It's basically showing the chinks in the armor and the wisdom. Remember, how about this? Hold on, back up 1 second. Loretta, Job class, I told you that in grieving, go into the wound and talk to the soul from the wound, correct? When you get hit in spiritual combat, that is an opportunity for you to do your Job reality training. It was meant to hurt as an opportunity to explore the wound and see a greater wisdom in reality. It's Job class of tomorrow. Okay, so what it would be like this. This would be a dramatized thing. Okay, it's going to feel a little painful, so hold on. If I say, Loretta, break your head open and get wisdom. Loretta says, ow, why does he want to punch my head? David Katz, you're not nice. You take advantage of your students. I say, ow, Loretta, that hurt. That really hurt. I say, is it my ego? Is that my ego? She says, yes, that's your ego. I say, no, it feels like my gut, and it feels like you put a knife in me. She did. Now, go to Job. Stop David Katz. Stop the drama. Open the wound. Explore it. Stop. It's your trauma of your body. Let the blood flow. Go to wrestling, right? Point your fingers, do the blame. Okay, Loretta's this and that, and it's her fault and all this. Okay, you got out of your system. Now let reality sink in. What was the reality? What were you walking in on? Because it cannot be a soul thing. Because you didn't hit her soul. You hit her body, and the body felt the trauma and then lashed out. And just as you hit her, she hit you. I think this answers the questions. Am I correct? We think we're hitting people's souls and enlightening them. But if they don't have wisdom, all you're doing is hitting their flesh. And that says, ow, it hurts. And so they hit you back. And then the religions tell them, this is very holy. Spiritual or physical pain is very holy. When the more pain you physically feel, the holier you must be. But that's not true. What it is it's called Jewish grieving and death. Job, the enlightened soul, I think so. The unenlightened soul is the painful soul. And so if you're grieving, it's your Job moment. Okay, so if you ever find Rabbi Katz threatening you, that means that I've lost my wisdom and you're in your Job moment. But if we're gonna talk wisdom together, it's as Travis said, that's curiosity, right? That means if I didn't explain it clearly, that means I'm also curious and searching. I'm just like you. I'm searching too. I don't have all the answers. And then we can discuss it and come to terms. But if I'm curious and my curiosity hits you over the head with a hammer, and then you hit me with a hammer, that means we're in Job. I like that. That's nice. It's kind of like like a spiritual state of being. You know, when you're in the flow and love of the universe, that's called in love. We can be in love. When you're in pain and when you're not in love, you're in Job. And don't confuse the relationships of Job and love. When lovers split, it's not a painful experience. It's a release. When Job splits, that is not a soul split. That is a physical entity. Job got hit with boils. Physical. And I'm going to move on from this point. When your body hurts, don't confuse it with the soul. If your soul hurts, you should be relieved that it wasn't your body. And then the last point, I think this is the most profound. If I'm coming to purify your soul, as me in the proverbial, if I'm coming to purify your soul, that means you are impure, correct? Pay attention to the words I'm using. Again, I'm going to repeat it again. If I represent purity, and I am coming to purify your impure soul, with me? And impurity means you are unaware of your soul. Is that correct? So you are a body. Is that correct? And therefore you can say your body is impure. Is that correct? And I'm here to purify then your body. Is that correct? Yes. And my attempt to purify your body causes trauma to your body. Is that correct? And your body will retaliate onto me. Is that correct? And my soul has nothing to do with it because I was attempting to purify your body. So what are you attempting to purify? Correct. So that means by God's language, has my body become impure? Yes. So the guy who attempts to purified the impure and became impure in the process of purifying. Is that correct? What does that spell? There you go. Isn't that nice? I like that a lot. I've been working on Red Heifer for like many years. As I started the discourse tonight, I saw that's where it was going. I think we understood how it works. Look at that. That's a good one. That's a really, really good one. When I am attempting, I see you are impure, I become pure to purify you. You become realized as impure in your body. You attack my body, and that renders me impure for the very fact that God was the whipping stick that made you attack me. I became impure. Otherwise, your body wouldn't have attacked me. That's it. And what's the proof? If I'm going to wrestle Brian's not going to wrestle back unless he believes he can beat me, right? If I'm going to be a world champion, Brian's going to run. So the body of David recognized as the body of Brian recognizes the body of David. That's called two wrestlers in a singlet with headgear. We decided, hey, we're wrestlers. Let's wrestle. Because if I'm in a wrestling match and Brian shows up in a gi, okay, that's already called MMA. That's not called wrestling match. And it would be very confusing if we were in the NCAA finals, I showed up with my singlet, and Brian showed up with his gi. That would be very weird. So if I'm going to hit you, trying to purify, and you hit me, your body, your animal soul, your body is saying, I, the impure one, who have been hit by this one, I recognize he hit me, for he too is like me. By definition, if I am impure, you are impure. But I didn't become impure until you let me know and attacked me with your purity stance. So when you sought to purify me, my experience impurified you. That's pretty wild. No, it's not best to stay away. Because the Torah says the Kohen just then dunks in the river. Go get pure. And how do you go get pure? Sit down, get rid of your friends. Like you say, go away. That's right. Go away from your friends. And then contemplate to God and have your Job moment. Then the purification comes. And then it's a Mishnah in the Tractate of Yoma in the Talmud. God, our hope is to God. He is our purification. Exactly. I think now we understand instruction a little better. I like this a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I like it a lot. All right, so here we go. I'm going to now take us into word land. All right, hold on. Let's bring this over here. The secret be told, I like this computer better than the other one. Don't tell anybody. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, I got 2 monitors on this computer, so it's pretty cool. Get to do a split screen here. All right, I'm going to now go to my Merriam-Webster stuff. Go ahead and just, if you want to chat amongst yourselves for a second, I'm going to get set up on the word game, okay? We're doing the word game for instruction. If anybody wants to take the mic and make comments, feel free. If anybody wants to speak, offer anything, go ahead. Brian, grab your microphone. I want you to read this. Here's the link, everybody. All right, go ahead and pull it up. I'm not happy that I have this down USB port. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, Brian, on you when you're ready. Go real slow and look for me to interject.
Okay. Instruction. A statement that describes how to do something.
Stop. I'm just going to meditate for a second. We're totally shifting the energies into English, so hold on. Okay, Morpheus, Neo, God gave the Musser, right? God put Neo in some strange thing. Neo's probably just hacking stuff and getting involved with the wrong crowd. Okay, it was coming his way. His muzzle was being set. And you know what hit the fan? All of a sudden, bam, he's in a very bad situation. He's trapped. I think that's why I like the word. How about that word? You guys like that word? That's what that is. How about that's the word, man? Look at that. Look at that word. Well, wait, hold on. Why did it come out? Oh, here it goes. Hold on. Neo. Oh, there it goes. All right. Neo was trapped, wasn't he? He was trapped. That's Musser. Musser's when you're trapped. Right? Loretta, you didn't pay the rent last month. I'm the office manager of your building. And because I changed the date on you. You didn't get the notice in the mail. We changed the date up a week. Sorry, why don't you check your mail? I need to remind you to check your mail? You say, but I don't get paid till this such and such a date. Well, Loretta, then don't sign up for apartments in my apartment complex. Well, I'm not your babysitter. Loretta is what's called trapped. I have an apartment. I have nowhere to go. I have no money. I can't get out of the situation. I'm trapped. Right? And Loretta says, I'm an open-minded individual. And God says, now I'm going to put you in a box. Putting you in a box. And this is like, Ross Bearden teaches this. This is how you grow out of the box. Because, and Ross taught me this, the 7 laws are fantastic. Because what it is it's like putting yourself in a box and saying, okay, now get out. You always have to put yourself back in the 7, and then you can get out of it. It's literally a Harry Houdini God puts you through. It's brilliant wisdom. But if you don't, like, gear is the door every time. It's like a game. God is playing a holy game. But if you don't cooperate, then in the life game, God says, let me put you in a box on my terms. Right? You didn't believe in me and my word and my Torah. let me now put you in what I call my Torah box. It's called, you shouldn't have had the laziness to not check your mail, Loretta. You should be checking your mail because responsible people check their mail. So you shouldn't be surprised. And you shouldn't be living in your own little bubble, in your own little world, in your own little box. All your neighbors are like, hey, it's going to be hard to pay rent this month since they pushed the date up. Loretta says, oh, no, I don't talk to my neighbors. I'm just all about me. Sorry to pick on you, Loretta. Just give an example. Because we all get in this box. We all end up in our bubbles. We all get there. It's not evil, right? You know, it's like that's it. You know, we fall victim to this. Again, you know, or how about this? Morpheus, right? Morpheus was trapped. Neo says, okay, I got to get to the scaffolding. Well, why are you not here to help me? What does Morpheus become? Neo trapped Morpheus. You're not a good person for putting me in this position. Where Morpheus can't move now. He's trapped. And he can't tell the truth. He can't say, look, frankly, Neo, the movie's about you, okay? I'm here to free your mind, and you want to attack. By the way, if you see the movie, what happened? Morpheus did get attacked by Neo. That was the whole plot of the movie. They just didn't dramatize it correctly in The Office, if you ask me, because it was in Hollywood. But in real life, that fight between Morpheus and Neo would have happened right then and there. Morpheus would have been trapped. And by the nature of the fight, he would have been tempted to kill Neo. But you can't kill God, right? And you can't kill the apartment complex because you know that, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't fight an apartment complex. What are you going to put signs around town? You know, villa apartments are evil people. Don't rent here. They put things in the mail that threaten you. You're stuck. You're trapped. What are you going to go to the mayor, to the city, and complain? They tricked me? Right? There's a basic maturity of life that you know you're in trouble. And all you can point it to is fate and destiny, mazel, which is nice ways of saying, God, you did this to me. King David was the master for saying, God, you did it, and I'm with you, and I don't know how you're going to get me out of this, but we'll see. That's King David. All right, Neo doesn't attack Morpheus. That's King David. Job attacked. Job tried to rationalize. Well, the apartment owner is not a nice guy. They're all not nice. And God created not nice people. God says, really, Job? Really? I'm such a bad God that I created nasty apartment building managers? That's who I am as God? Job's like, oh, got to try it again. All right. So the mailman's a bad guy because he should have read my mail that said, warning, rent due early. Right? The mailman's not nice. And the world is run by mailmen. And so there's a conspiracy of the mailman. And God lets it happen because the nature of the universe, you know, some mailmen attack people like this and like that. That's right. It's Newman. God says, Job, you're saying that I have a disposition towards Newman. And what you're saying is it's a Jewish conspiracy because Seinfeld was Jewish. And so Newman and it's a Jewish conspiracy. At the end of the day, Job has to say to God, I understand your kingdom. That's called King David. David is the king. That's the whole point. David is the king that understands the king. Moses, as the Midrash states, is not like Job and David. Moses says, you're all equally worthless. None of you understand wisdom, including me. So all your problems are because you're dumb. And Moses is right. Because if we would have had wisdom, we wouldn't be in this position. Why did Loretta get a contract with such a dodgy apartment company? If Loretta would have had wisdom, she wouldn't have gotten there. Thank you, Moses. But King David gives the answer. He understands how God is king, and he works with the creatures. This is why Moses got in a lot of trouble, because he blamed everybody. And he's right. I mean, Moses was the one guy that could blame you. So now, let's go. Now that we understand, A statement that describes how to do something. Hold on one second. Let me think what that means. Whew. Instruction. Trapped. That's where we're trapped. Very good. You guys see this? Just cut to my head. I'm going to now take you in a room. I'm going to lock you in the door. Yes, Brian got it. That was awesome. That's awesome. You guys get what Brian said? There had to be a Morpheus calling. That's I love it. I love it. I love it. Neo got the instruction. Literally. Hey, buddy, are you trapped? Yes, I am. Good. Go turn and look. Right? The phone call was the instruction. Yeah, the phone call. So when you're trapped, God will call you on an outdated Nokia telephone. How's that for muzzle? How is that for muzzle? When you are trapped and we're cutting off your rent came early and you didn't get the mail and you say, I'm trapped. God sends the Nokia. And you're going to want to blame the person with the Nokia. Now, see, I'm a millionaire, okay? And so I would say, hey, Loretta, sucks to be you. Did you ever think about calling your friend Bill? And you'd say, well, thanks, Rabbi Katz. Since you have $1 million, you wouldn't happen to want to help me out. No, not me, no. So, well, but hold on. Don't attack me. I'm just the guy giving you the Nokia telephone. A statement that describes how to do something. For whatever reason, I cannot help you. I'm not in position to help you. I'm not sent to help you. And in reality terms, it didn't occur to me to help you. And that's where you're going to want to attack, right? I attack you, you attack me. You trapped me, it hurts, it's your fault. But I'm unaware that I caused you the pain. Right? Remember we said it's the musar, the instruction, and the tachacha, the rebuke. I'm here to rebuke. The instruction brings the rebuke. And they're always together. So I'm here to tell you how to pay your rent, Loretta. Not here how to save you from paying your rent. And for some reason, this is what we do. We beat people up with wisdom. Right? We're more interested in them figuring it out than just saving them. This is not about, no one is anyone's personal savior. It's just how we are as humans. We don't save each other. When Reuben falls down, when he was learning to walk, I wasn't there to save him. I had to, with Moses being put in the river as a baby. They were watching him. They weren't there to save him. They put him in danger because Moses had to get the instruction. Okay, this is awesome stuff. Brian, next statement.
Instruction, an order or command.
Did Morpheus give instruction to Neo, according to the second principle here? So when you're, and we know that instruction is when you're trapped. Keep going, Brian.
Instruction, the action or process of teaching, the act of instructing someone.
So Morpheus was giving instruction to Neo. Why didn't Morpheus just save Neo? So that's it. That's it, Travis. The point of the Matrix with the architect and all these things, you have to take the instruction to get out. And how did Neo win the war at the end? He followed the instruction of the oracle. All the time, the Matrix was offering the instruction. If you take the instruction, you can get out of anything. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's not wisdom, I don't know what is. This is what I'm saying about wrestling. Wrestling is you're trapped, right? I got Brian in a headlock. He can't breathe. If Brian is a winner, what does Brian do? Look for the Nokia. The phone call will win. It's the call, the coach from the sideline. Come on, Stanek, get out of there. And me as a wrestler, I would have said, okay, coach, you want to come here and get this guy off of me? That's why I wasn't very good. But the good wrestler would say, yeah, he's right. I should get out of here. That means there's a way out of here. The coach didn't say, hey, idiot, thanks for getting pinned. See you next week, okay? Good luck to you. He said, get out of there. Then there must be a way out. There must be a way out. So I'm saying, my soul is yelling to the coach, how? The guy's got biceps the size of China. In order or command. Turn over. Turn over. Okay. Okay. The action or process of teaching. You remember, why is the coach telling you turn over? Hey, Brian Stanek, didn't we go over this last week in practice with the big Russian guy who was pinning you nonstop and you learned how to turn over? And therefore I'm trying to tell you, turn over just like we did then? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you do what was the process, and you turned over. The bottom line is Neo knew how to get out of that building. Neo was probably, his day job was probably a window washer getting on scaffoldings. Right? And this particular scaffolding was a little bit harder than the usual one. Okay, Brian, keep going.
Okay. Precept 1A. Prevailing cultural instructions.
Stop. Prevailing cultural instruction. I don't know what precept means. Everybody, please click on precept. Brian, please introduce us to precept.
Precept, a rule that says how people should behave.
Stop. Okay, now we understand. I'm trapping you. You're not a nice person. Now, which means you've broken the rule of how nice people around me, in my world, how we behave. Keep going, Brian.
On precept?
Yeah.
Let's see. 1A, a command or principle intended especially as a general rule of action.
All right, you broke the golden rule. People have golden rules. Keep going.
2, an order issued by legally constituted authority to a subordinate official.
Again, number 2.
An order issued by legally constituted authority to a subordinate official.
Okay. I'm your superior, right? Is that how you read that, Brian? I'm your superior, yes. And you need to listen to my edict, correct? You're not doing something right. And you're not – notice – can you guys figure out what I'm harping on here on number 2? On why I felt forced to articulate this? What's the problem? I see a big problem, and that's why I vocalize. Anybody? No? I would have thought it would be an insubordinate official. You see that? An order issued by a legally constituted authority to an insubordinate official. But it's not. Right? I don't hate you because I'm coming down on you. You're not insubordinate. It's just I am superior to you, and you are a subordinate official. You do as I say. So now, since I know more than you, you're bound to mess up, and you will take my rules that I set up, and you don't know all my rules, and you're going to fall under them, right? And therefore, you're behaving poorly. Now, back up to our instruction. Everyone click the back button. And I'm dramatizing this because I think this is how human psychology is. I think this is what the hoops that we make people jump through, right? And or the trauma of the body. This is it. Brian, reread 1A, please. Brian, you with me?
There we are. You want precept or instruction? Which one?
The precept, the whole precept one.
Okay. A command or principle intended especially as a general rule of action.
Wait, where's that? Where's that from?
Precept number 1.
Oh, no, I'm saying go back to instruction, the precept of instruction.
Oh, got it. One A, we got precept, a prevailing cultural instruction.
Okay, so you're not from around here, and I need to, just like we said last week, I need to take you to school, right? You take you to school, and therefore it's instruction. So now, this is the principle, like of the school, right? What did I do wrong? Well, sit down, Brian. You're in my office. Sit down. What did I do? Then I'm going to ignore you for a little while and say, you need to straighten up, Brian. And you say, what did I do? You were 5 minutes late coming to class every day this week. We can't have insubordinate. I'm going to use the word insubordinate. I can't have people like you in the hallways. That's a hooligan. You need to be on time for class. In this school, everybody's on time. Now, does the principal hate Brian? Do I really have actual hate for Brian? No. It's just I have my reasons why I need to beat up Brian. And Brian, you're going to feel that pain because I'm going to send a letter home to your mom, and it's got to be signed, and you have to write 100 sentences. You will not be late again. Now, if that's not Musser instruction, I don't know what is. Now, a statement that describes how to do something. Brian, did I teach you how to be on time? Yeah. Did I give you an order or a command? Was there a process of teaching you this? Did I trap you? Could you have possibly gotten out of my office? Did I give you a precept of cultural instructions? By the way, is this not perfect from what we said about the school reference yesterday or last week? Right, that was the whole thing we got onto was school. This is it. This is really it. It is God taking you to school. Really is that. Brian, 1B, please.
1B, a direction calling for compliance. Order.
I need you to comply, right, Brian? There's no way you can be late to class. Keep going.
Order, usually used in plural, had instructions not to admit strangers.
I had instructions. I gave you instructions, directions, right? And that's what it is. I need order in my school, right? I really can't have you in the hallways. Now I'm going to rationalize this, okay? The principal's not psychotic. We have security guards in the hallway, and I commanded them, because there's terrorism, to shoot anything that moves 10 minutes after the bell rings. Brian, if you're 5 minutes late, I'm not too confident on my safety patrol. and they might shoot you if you're like in the 5-6 minute range. I need you in class 2 minutes before the bell rings. I don't want lawsuits on why there's dead kids in my school. I don't need to justify myself to a 15-year-old kid either. I'm a very distinguished school principal. Right? So when I'm trapping you in my office, you think it's about you. It really has nothing to do with you. I want my job to be reelected, and I really don't want dead kids in my school. So I'm going to come down on you. Then, you know what? There's no dead kids in the hallways. That's it. I really don't like the guy with the gun in the hallway. He's got an itchy trigger finger, and they made me hire him because of some kind of like minority law, which I'm all again. I have no problems with minorities, but this guy, I wouldn't have hired him. He's not competent. And Brian, you don't have the mental capacity for me to explain this to you because you're 15, right? You don't need to know my administrative duties. Keep going. 1C.
Plural, an outline or manual of technical procedure. Directions.
Okay, so the school is governed. You're trapped in school. You're not allowed to just go out, and it's not the 70s. Right? In the 70s, you probably could get away with that. But, schools are run like little corporations. There's rules and directions for everything. If you break the rules, then I need to instruct you on those rules. That's called a cop, police officer. So there are police officers in the world. And what is the tag phrase of a police officer? In the line of duty. Everybody now open up a new browser window, go to Google, and type in the word Merriam as a Merriam-Webster, duty. Why is it their duty? What is duty? Right? The duty of the principal was he wants to get he wants a job. He wants to have a job. But if it's not job related, why is it my duty to reprimand you? Why is it my duty or job to make sure you don't slip up? Brian, you want to read or want me to read? It's up to you.
I can grab it.
Good.
Duty, something that is done as part of a job.
So it's in my job description. The people hire me to discipline their kids because they don't want to discipline their kids at home. And I'm telling you what, as a parent, I agree. I don't want my kids coming home buck wild. Right? I'm all for a restricted school as much as I hated it as a kid. Because when Reuben comes home, I know if they discipline the kids or not. When he's running crazy, I know they're giving candy out. And when he's governed, I know he's in a good state of mind. So I, the parent, want the principal to tell my kid, don't be late. How come I don't have any mercy on Reuben? Because I don't. But see, the thing is, this is the conspiracy. When Reuben comes home with the principal report that I have to sign, I'm going to give Reuben a hard time. I'm going to pretend that I'm mad. And when he's 25 years old, he'll say, were you really mad? I'll say no. So it's a conspiracy. Keep going. On duty.
Something that you must do because it is morally right or because the law requires it.
Keep going.
Active military service.
Very good. You guys seeing this? You seeing this blow up in your faces? People belong to rank and law and morals, and they stand by these things. Keep going. You can fly through this because this is not exactly our work, but fly through the definitions of duty.
Duty. Conduct due to parents and superiors. Respect.
Did I not just call that with Reuben? Did we not just call that? Keep going.
2A. Obligatory tasks. Conduct, service, or functions that arise from one's position, as in life or in a group. B. Assigned service or business. Active military service. A period of being on duty. 3. A moral or legal obligation. 3B. The force of a moral obligation. 4. Tax, such as a tax on imports. 5A. Work. 5B, the service required as of an electric machine under specified conditions.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
We got that one. But what does tax mean? Why is that called a duty? Well, you know what? Click on tax, everybody. I'm curious. This is just a side note. I want to find out what that means. What does tax mean? Click on tax. Brian, go ahead.
to tax, to require someone to pay a tax.
Very interesting. Keep going.
To require someone to pay a tax on something, or to require a lot from someone or something. To put demands.
How good is that? How good is this? How good is that? I'm taxing you to put demands on. Keep going. This is fantastic.
Full definition. To assess or determine judicially the amount of, say, costs in a court action. To levy a tax on, let's see, obsolete, to enter a name in a list.
Yeah.
There went out a decree that all the world should be taxed.
Wow, and Luke, now we're getting biblical. Now we're talking English language. Now we're talking English language, which was developed for this reason. Read that again real slow.
This is interesting. Definition of tax.
3. Yeah, 3. Go ahead.
Obsolete. To enter in a list, such as a name. There went out a decree that all the world should be taxed.
What does that mean?
Given in Luke 2.
This is a totally random moment. Go on Google. Look on Luke 2. Let me give you a link for this. And the reason why I'm doing this, for those that don't know, the word assumption in the English language means a deification of the Virgin Mary, which means the English language is based and built off of biblical concepts. So I bet you this is one of those things. Luke 2:1. This is the Roman Exile 101, man. Watch this. Luke 2:1. I'll give you guys the link. Copy. I bet you this is one of those moments. This whole thing. Okay, the birth of Jesus. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken. Oh, wow. The census. You guys know where census comes from? King David was in trouble at the Temple Mount because when the plague hit between him and Aravna, he wanted to take a census. And the census is because names have mazel. King David wanted to read the names of the people and their gematrias to know what God was bringing in the generation. So what you take is a census to know what God is going to do. Now back up to our tax definition and read it again slowly, Brian. I think that's what's going on here. Go again on obsolete 3 or tax 3.
Let's see, obsolete. To enter in a list.
To enter Bob Jones in a list.
Mm-hmm.
You going?
Such as, there went out a decree that all the world should be taxed.
So he's calling it taxed. Should be the decree. Let's see here. I'm click on all English translations. Remember, the English language was developed from biblical translation. That's why we're doing this. And it came to pass in those days, the decree went out. Okay, Brian, click the link where it says all English translations.
Okay.
A decree went out for it came to pass in those days. A decree went out. The world should be taxed. The world should be enrolled. Oh wow! Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? Enrollment to school. Now in those days, we'll do the inhabited world should be registered. Here's Big Brother, man. You guys want to see Big Brother in the flesh? Here's Big Brother in the flesh. You all should be registered in the government. So taxing is census. Ladies and gentlemen, why are you taxed in your countries? That's how we know who you are. That is fantastic. You cop this? Oh, man. Why are there taxes? So why are there new taxes? Because new people came. We need to register them in the government. So King David did it to know what God was going to do to the generation. Rome does it to say we can know everything. We can Facebook the generation. Yeah, no new taxes, as if that were to exist. That's why it's such an ironic statement they make. Wow. This is why, so America broke off from England. No, they didn't want their taxes put on them. They wanted their debt wiped out, which means they wanted a clean name. They wanted a clean slate for their name. Wow. So therefore, all the world should be taxed. So, wow. To enter a name on a list. That's what I meant. All right, Brian, you see this? Go ahead and read again. Read 3 again. Now we understand why it means to enter a name on a list. Go ahead.
To enter a name in a list, there went out a decree that all the world should be taxed.
That's it. So now keep going. 4.
4. Charge, accuse, taxed him with neglect of duty.
Oh, man. 5, to make onerous and rigorous demands on. Now, click on censure. What does censure mean?
Censure. Official, strong criticism.
Ooh! You guys getting heated up yet? Are you guys getting heated up yet? Oh, man! Wow, this is why I love language. If you ever want to know why I love language, this is why. Keep going.
Censure. A judgment involving condemnation. An archaic version is opinion or judgment. 3, the act of blaming or condemning sternly.
Oof! This is life! Welcome to the instruction, ladies and gentlemen. Keep going.
4, an official reprimand.
Oof. Wow. Wow. Now back up. Why do we get to censure? How did that take us to censure? So we're going to tax your name. Therefore, I'm looking for fault. I'm putting you're on my you know what list. You're on my you know what list. Right? I'm mad at you. You're on my list. So therefore, that's what that is. Subordination. Yeah, you're on my X list. And you get you call that also the doghouse. You're in my doghouse. This answers so many questions for me. Man, we get on people in people's doghouse. And that's the tax. That's the the government feels we're all in their doghouse. That's why you enroll in the government, right? So that's how and then you govern with rebuke. So hold on a second. Let's back up 1 second. Did Neo get trapped? He was trapped and there was instruction. Now, how do we get to tax? Back up on your browser. I forget how we got duty. Okay. So Morpheus had duty. And duty means tax. He was letting Neo know he was on the taxation list of Agent Smith. You guys follow my thinking here? Neo got pegged. He was on the list. And Morpheus had the duty now to get Neo to realize he was on the list. So you know when real things are coming your way? You know how you can know from heaven that you got service, which is Yiddish for problems, coming your way? when you're on someone's list. So why am I going to beat up Brian? Because Brian, you're on the list. I'm here to save your soul. But now the problem is you don't know that you're on a list. And stop trying to save my soul. Tell me the list I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Tell me who wrote my name down. And Morpheus did. He said, you're on Smith's list. So when you're on the list, that means you're trapped. And when you're trapped, the list ultimately comes from God because we don't believe there's anything outside of God. Now back up again to instruction. Okay? Go back to your browsers of instruction. Who trapped you? Who put you on the list? God. And therefore, David sinned by putting names on the list. Because if King David would have put the names on the list, the people would say, you're no better than the Roman government. And it's a disgrace to God because God's the one that put your name on the list. David made a mistake. His words could be corrupted. Now, we got there from the word. How do we get to? Oh, we felt it was duty. Okay, Brian, pick it up at 1D
of instruction.
Yeah.
A code that tells a computer to perform a particular operation.
All right, so it's formula. So instruction is enter code, enter formula. So actually, what was the code that Neo did when the instruction came? He opened the phone. Right? You've learned enough from society. When a phone comes in the mail, you don't check it for a nuclear bomb when it rings. You realize this is a message and you answer the phone and say hello. Yeah. You answer the phone. And what's going to happen when you're with someone that doesn't get the message? Don't answer that. It could be a nuclear bomb. That's another fight ready to happen. Right? And this is, again, one person gets the wisdom, another person doesn't. Why would you answer the phone? See, now when you answer the phone, Morpheus says, you got to get out the hard way. And then you hang up on him, and your friend says, see, you got us in this situation. Why would you answer the phone? Ignorance is bliss, people. Why would you answer the phone? There's no Agent Smith. You're watching too many movies. There's nobody after you. You're paranoid. Exactly. Curious. Okay, there is no Agent Smith as we know it in the movie. But I'm telling you what, someone sends me a phone in the mail, I am answering that phone. Straight up. You know, and we know it's going to be Morpheus getting us in trouble. You know it's going to be trouble. But that's what King David represents. There is a salvation project that God does. And only because the more you get in trouble, you need God to rescue you. Brian, 2 of instruction. Go ahead.
Instruction, the action, practice, or profession of teaching.
Okay. Action, profession of teaching. Right. The instructor, he gives instruction. I'm giving instruction. I received instruction. A college is a place of instruction. So with Musser, you're trapped, you're put in school, action, practice, or profession of teaching. I don't know about you guys. I'm curious. What does the word teaching mean? Agreed? Please enter a search for teach. Let's find out what teach means. Brian, go ahead. Because what we're saying is God is a teacher. If God instructs, God is a teacher. Go ahead.
Okay, I teach from Merriam-Webster. To cause or help someone to learn about a subject by giving lessons.
Oh, oh man. Is this intense or what? Right? So, cause or help someone to learn about giving. So when we are giving wisdom as teachers, we're giving them lessons. And then they in turn punish with duty and tax, and they give you a lesson. So when you were in the hallway 5 minutes late, you got the lesson in the lower bodily sense. And if you're, assuming you're a good person, meaning you were not doing hooligan things in the hallway. Brian's a good guy. Brian, why were you in the hallway? You were probably helping someone by giving them a lesson. That's what kids do. Just think about it. If you're being insubordinate, look, when I'm speeding in a speed trap, am I really being a delinquent? Or am I just trying to get from point A to point B for the sake of being responsible? Right? I'm not trying to break the law on my speed zone. Now, let's see now. When Morpheus instructs Neo, he's giving him a lesson of how to defeat free will, right? I'm here to help you free your mind. Neo then would say, it's your fault. And he would start, Neo would say it's his duty that you don't just send phones into the place of work and stop, that's not protocol. So my point is, you see the different energies here? One method is from of wisdom. And that's it. In Kabbalah, this works. There's the higher lesson, the higher teacher in wisdom. The other teacher is of the in Kabbalah, the 7 sfirot, the character traits. So when I give you wisdom, it hurts, and it shows things in your body, the trauma, that you then tell me that's unacceptable behavior. So then I have to give you a lesson and take you to school. It's my duty to reprimand you. So you become vulnerable. I was vulnerable. You gave me wisdom. You gave me wisdom, and then you became vulnerable, and I had to give you my wisdom. But they're different schools, right? Different schools completely. All right, and just to read further, to give lessons about a person or group. Oh, wow. Do you see this? Keep going. Read that, Brian. This is good.
To give lessons about a particular subject to a person or group. To cause or help a person or animal to learn how to do something by giving lessons, showing how it is done.
Wow, that is difficult stuff. You guys with me on this? Very difficult energy here. Right? It's like there's parallel universes going on here. Right? I'm here, and I'm seeing this in the ladies group. It's like, I'm the Jew, and I'm here to give you wisdom, and the Ger women are saying, let me show you how it's done in our universe, because you've entered our world. And that's just that's what it is, right? If Brian, you come to my house to film a class, and you say, Rav Katz, I know how to film, and you need to put the camera in this corner because of the lighting. Okay, Brian, no problem. Then you're gonna put your drink on my table with the glass is gonna sweat, and I say, Brian, don't put your glass on my table because it'll ruin my notes. Now, maybe you're not in the house of a rabbi before where you're used to having notes everywhere. You say, wow, he's a bunged up guy. He really cares where I put my cup. And I'm saying that's not how it's done here. In my office, I don't put cups in the middle of the floor so they can get broken and all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. I'm saying, no, I'm not taking it easy. Please don't put your cup where I put my notes. So Brian's here to help, and the good light and the good vibes, and yeah, we're going to make an awesome video. And I'm coming down on Brian. Dude, don't put your cup where I study. Now, if this isn't Life 101, I don't know what is. You see how me and Brian are going to have an argument? Right, straight up, we're going to go to blows over this. See, this could be a fight, no doubt. Right, Brian's here to help and the love and the gear, woohoo. And I'm coming down on him like, it's great. Don't put your cup there. You're like, he says, we're here to help you. And you're not appreciative that I'm here to help you. And I say, you're rude coming in my house telling me where you should put your cup. That's all right. And Brian, what do you think? Is this avoidable? Can we even avoid this? What am I supposed to do when you walk in? Okay, Brian, I know you're not going to know the protocol around here. So if you could just put your cup right away, on this here table, right? I need you to understand, don't, to ask me. Yeah, exactly. Where do I put this? Hey, no problem. Let me get you a coaster. What's the problem? Why can't you ask the question? And you see, if you didn't know to ask the question, you couldn't have known. I think what we're seeing, life is inevitable, difficult, right? Your Morpheus helping me, and then I'm going to come down on you for helping me. But now we see that Neo's justified, right? Neo is justified in this situation. So why didn't Morpheus call Neo and say, hey, Neo, how's it going? How's your day? But better yet, why couldn't Brian let it roll off his back when I said, hey, man, do you mind moving the cup over there? Why did it have to be an issue? But if I make it an issue, why do I have to make it an issue? And if I'm not trying to make it an issue, why are you making me make it an issue? This is nuts. So if God is a teacher, he's telling you, if God is the true judge and God is God, and God says, Brian, I don't want you to put your cup over there, then we know the truth. Right? That means there is a Torah of where to put the cup. And if you transgress that, you did not learn the Torah. And if I am telling you where to put the cup, I knew the Torah. But if I know the Torah, why would I give you the Torah harshly? So therefore, if I'm coming harsh on you, do I really know the Torah of where the cup goes? So if I don't know, what are you going to do, Brian? You're going to argue. Dude, I don't think the cup goes where you say it goes. You can't come in my house and tell me where to put the cup. So now it becomes a real but now it becomes a fight of the truth. Do I know the truth because I know my house? Or is there a greater Torah in my house that maybe you know and I don't know? We need to come to the truth. But we have an argument. And there is a truth. And right now might not be the time for the argument. What do? Someone's got to cave in. And I'll tell you who the answer is. It's going to be Brian. Because it's my house. What are you going to do? No? All right, Brian just might think twice next time he comes over. Or, it's something to address later on. But I'll tell you what I shouldn't do is if it's going to be a fight for me and Brian, I'm going to have to address it with Brian. Hey, look, man, I saw that you were kind of funny about the cup, and I just want to explain to you where I'm coming from. Now, if I bury that, and next time I see Brian, hey, Brian, old buddy, how's it going? No fight. That's a bit of wicked behavior. Because I am bothered by Brian. I don't like the fact that he put his cup there. And when I chum it up with Brian, hey, no problems here, folks. It's all good. I'm being sneaky. Brian didn't know any better. Okay, you should have asked for to put the cup. That's not a capital punishment or capital crime. Capital offense. Right? The fact that I cover it up, I'm not doing Brian any favors by covering it up. By saying, well, it's not really capital. Yes, it is. You're that mad. Why are you that mad when you're covering it up? Exactly. You need the lesson. And you know what? If I'm wrong, you say, Rabbit Cats, the paper you're using, I have that same paper at home, and it's waterproof. I go through it all the time because I have notes in my apartment, and I can't have them ruined, so I buy this great paper. Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know I had waterproof paper. Yeah. You buy the best paper. I was impressed. You have good paper. Wow. I have more chachma than I thought. Yeah. You're the man, Rav Katz. You buy the best paper, and you didn't even know. Well, go me. I hang out with cool people that know great paper. No, it's got to be a fight. All right. Now, go back from teach, go into instruction. And Brian, take us to... Wait, that might be it. Hold on. Second, computer is frozen. Come on, computer. No, second definitions. Go ahead, Brian. Wait, come on, computer. Hold on. Come on. This is the one thing I don't like about this computer. Hold on. I got a little reaction going on over here. Hold on. All right, why is it thinking about this one? Here we go. Okay. Oh, that's an instruction for kids. Okay. Let's go now to the etymology. Go to Google. I'll give you the link. 1 second. Come on. My computer's going really slow here. Wait, we got a total meltdown. What is this? There we go. And come on, computer. Man, not cool. Okay, here we go. Etymology, instruction, and let's close down the old definitions. There we go. And etymology, instruction. And Brian, here you go, sir. Fastball over the middle. Go ahead.
Instruction. Action or process of teaching. From old...
Wait. I like that word. Process.
That's it.
Right? Neo was learning not from Morpheus or Smith. It was the process. Right? Morpheus is saying, dude, don't put me in your situation. You're the one that fell into a bad situation. I didn't put you there. And Smith didn't put you there either. You ended up here. It's the process. Therefore, the process gets you in trouble. But the process will save you from the struggle. Right? When you were lingering in the hallway, that was part of the process because you didn't know any better. I'm helping you in your process because I didn't kick you out of my school. Even that would help you in the process. It means you don't belong here. So when Brian put the cup in the wrong place, this is a process. And let's just say I reprimand you, Brian, right? I'm having a bad day. How dare you put your cup in my book spaces? It's a process. And if we're going to blow up over this, chances are this is just part of the process. Keep going. Go ahead.
Okay. Action or process of teaching. From Old French, instruction. From Latin, okay, let's keep going. Building, arrangement, teaching. From the past participle stem of interior.
So why, if I'm inviting you to videotape in my house, this is where women are the best. I need to say, "Hi, Brian, can I get you something to drink?" "Yes, please, a glass of water," you'll say, right? Nice guy. I give you a, what do you call that? Say it in Hebrew. What do you call those little things? Things you put the drink on. Whatever the word is. I forgot the English word. Hebrew word for a cup is kos. What sounds just like kos. Coaster. That's what I thought. That's funny. I had the word kos in my head. So I give you a coaster, and I say, "Here, let me help you set that up." This is Bina. Like when we men can get to this level, our fights will go out the wayside. When I can look ahead and get Brian set up with a coaster with a special table that I bought a month ago because I know people will come over and get it wrong. This is total kindness and mitigation. Completely mitigated. This is what women do. They mitigate men from the get-go. Right? It's my house. I don't want any goofy energy in my house. What's the best way to do that? Mitigate this guy as much as possible. Don't let him act out in any weird way, and we will never have problems. Exactly. Take your shoes off the door. That's it. You want to come to my house? Take your shoes off. Oh, okay. All right. And so the point is that when we invite men into our man cave, then we're very funny about our man cave. Because every man cave is different rules and regulations from every other man cave. So men are destined to be a little bit prickly. I'm sure women do too, right? And women is probably, "Hi, Linda, can I get you something to drink?" And Linda's thinking, "Oh my God, doesn't she know that I just came from a place that had abundant water and I'm really hungry and she should offer me an Oreo because all she ever does is talk about how much she buys Oreos. And I know she has an Oreo. She probably doesn't want me to have her Oreos, right? She's cheap. She's probably cheap. That's why she wears cheap clothes. That's who she is. She's cheap. No, I don't want anything to drink. I'm okay. I'm fine. So, I mean, this is how it is. Where people are funny. We have our ways. Hey, keep going, Brian.
Okay. We got two parts here. In, to pile or build, and structure.
Wait. To pile and build. Mm-hmm. So it piles up. Right? The instructions pile up. Which means you didn't have to end up at office with Morpheus and Smith. You brought this on yourself. Right? And this is what Job was saying, or whatever it was we saw in the commentary. Your free will you have been corrupted time and time again. And this is what Morpheus is saying to Neo. You need to free your mind to where it doesn't build up anymore. Right? A great wrestler, in fact, an undefeated wrestler, is he doesn't dig his own grave. He doesn't get out of position. He doesn't let it build up. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, out there in virtual land, what is the definition now of a great relationship? Don't let the crap pile up. Period. Receive the instruction quickly. When the crap piles up, then you're going to have a real instruction. And the responsible relationship is on Brian and David. You guys, you want to do your little film get together? Yeah. Then don't let it pile up. Don't let it pile up. Emotions can rise, but don't let it pile up. It's okay to ask the question and address the issue. Keep going, Brian.
Okay, we had two parts. In, meaning to pile or build, and structure, meaning okay.
We're
Meaning
going to do
an
structure.
authoritative direction, telling someone what to do.
Read meaning and authoritative. Wait. Authoritative direction. Authoritative. Brian, put your cup over there. Not, hey, Brian, where would you like to put your cup? I'm thinking maybe in that corner. What do you think? Now, and if that happens, you're also going to be weirded out. Why is he asking me where he wants me to put my cup in his house? Brian, do you think we should put your cup on the chair? That's also weird. So instruction comes from authority. And when it's authoritative, that's where it becomes dicey. Because once you give instruction, you are the authority. Keep going.
A document giving such directions. Okay. Meaning, an authoritative direction, telling someone what to do. A document giving such directions.
Keep going. Wow. Authoritative direction. So that means when God makes you trapped, you will get authoritative direction of what to do. Whether it's spoken or written, oral Torah, written Torah. And it comes from authority. Morpheus was authoritative. That's right, it's Torah. You're going to get the Torah. Now, click on structure. Well, that's the thing, Lars. It's either arrogant, if it's, let's say, Neo reprimanding Morpheus, or Morpheus might be just giving a fact. Right? I'm looking at the matrix screen, man. Smith is there. Scaffolding is there. This is the authoritative view. Keep going. Read structure.
Action or process of building or construction. That which is constructed, a building or edifice.
So when you're lingering in the hallway, there is a structure here, Brian. You are in a building. You are in an office, right? An edifice. I mean, you're in a place, right? This is not how it's done here. There's a structure. You're in a building. You know, this is not I'm sorry to tell you. You cannot linger around here. It's like if my kids are sleeping and you come to videotape, right? I can't have you guys loud by my kid's door. This is a home of children. Please move the party along. In that case, Brian would understand. No question.
Okay. From Latin structura, a fitting together, adjustment, a building, mode of building, figuratively, arrangement, order. A past participle. Again, we have to pile, place together, heap up, build, assemble, arrange, make by joining together.
Are you guys feeling incredibly difficult right now? This is so hard. This is so hard. And I think this is what Shlomo's saying. You find it easy? It's hard in that it's so many layers of complications. I mean, look, there's so many layers here. Right? Proverbs, to know wisdom and instruction. So we're talking about fitting together, joining together. I mean, look, I think this is probably like, you know, male, female. How does a marriage work? I would say that's what this is. This is probably the worst part of marriage, making it work on this level. You know, we can all be together in our infatuation, and she's pretty and he's handsome and he's sweet and she's, you know, helpful, but man, this is the part that's like, you know, both have a leg to stand on, but they're beating each other up from angles that are completely different. And no one's at fault. I can't say, hey, it's your fault, you're dumb. Okay, this person doesn't have wisdom. And when I hit you for calling me dumb, you can't say, there can be no retaliation. I mean, what are you going to say? You didn't have a right to address a flaw? I mean, these things exist. But you didn't have to call out my flaw if it's your fault for being you. Well, can't we ignore our faults? And the answer is really no, we can't. But I only got flawed because you exposed me. Right? I'm a great wide receiver. And because you overthrew the ball, now you know that I can't jump very high. Well, we got to fix that little problem. Why? Just don't throw the ball high. Well, are you blaming me? Sometimes the ball comes high. You need to jump. I'm not a jumper. I'm a runner. Well, we want you to be a jumper. Might be that life happens to throw you a high ball, and I want you to jump. It could be the winning touchdown. Then throw it to the guy who's 6'8". No, we sometimes throw it to the short guy who's 5'7". Don't throw me the ball. But sometimes we have to throw you the ball. You're the leader of the team. You're the veteran of the team. We want to throw you the ball. You can't tell us to throw you the ball sometimes, but not all the time. Then you're just like that, Brian, put your cup over there. Only throw me the ball when it's convenient for me. Right, you're open, you're getting the ball. And it might not be a good throw because we're not professional quarterbacks. Even if we are, there are mistakes, but we need you to catch that ball. And we believe that you can jump. We believe that you can learn how to jump higher. There are techniques out there for jumping higher. Anyways, let's go back now to some review. Anybody want to take the microphone and review? Brian, can you review? My brain is fried. I just want to hear it come back at me. And you guys can hear it from also. Anybody, are you brave enough to take the microphone? So just kind of give us the news, the news report.
We're looking at the English
what happened here?
Instruction. We opened up with statements about how to do things, commands, which led us into precept. We learned about taxes, about being enrolled in school, about our participation, duty,
and duty. It's your duty. In fact, I only come to duty because you're enrolled in my school, right? Because you live in my district, now there's a duty, and by definition, there's an instruction, right? We're saying that because I'm trapped in the school, you're trapped in my neighborhood, and your kid's in the school district. We're all trapped. We're all in the same box. We're all in this together. We're trapped. I'm married to you. You're married to me. By definition, wow. How about this? Ready for this? Watch this. You're going to love this. How do you reveal Torah in this world? When we get married and we agree to trap ourselves, God reveals the Torah of instruction. What is the blessing and miracle of a Noahide? When I accept that I'm trapped in 7, that creates the vessel, the box for God to give the delivery of the Torah into. Yesod delivers to Malchus. So we have to get trapped in these horrible situations. Me yelling at Brian about the cup. Of course 7 laws are pathetic. Of course the cup is pathetic. Of course the fact that I can't put my socks on the floor in marriage is pathetic in theory. Okay? It's pathetic that I can't be me and you can't be you. You don't have the right to be you. That's what I'm telling you. You don't have the right to be you. And I don't have the right to say that. I can't be me. We're all incriminating each other. Don't put that there. Don't do that. Don't say that. You don't understand the seven. You don't understand Ger. You're not really a Ger. But what is Noah? We're placed on a planet Earth in a box to beat each other up. And the more you recognize your trapped box, then the Torah is revealed in the box. By definition, there will be a big cop with a big stick to give you instruction of how to get out of the box. And you realize there never was a box. At least not the box that we thought. The box was that you were trapped because you allowed yourself to be trapped because you could have killed me. Right? You want to get out of a bad relationship? I hate you. Bye. Don't ever call me again. Goodbye. But divorce doesn't eliminate the Torah. Once we marry each other, you got to deal with that. That is a tikkun given by God to you. And I found, we all found this out with relationships. There's no such thing as divorce, right? That guilt carries you around with you for the rest of your life until you fix it. You have to resolve your issues. I can't just say, Travis, you messed up. I hate you. Goodbye. Leave me alone. Because Travis is now going to go on the forums. Yeah, Rabbi Cass said this today. And I'm like, oh, Travis got me again. Now I got to have a whole hit squad come on. Eventually, it's going to come to death. Or hoping Travis dies or vice versa. Which is a big disgrace of God. It's a chil Hashem. The only answer is to make up and do tshuva. We don't have to get married again, okay? We don't got to move in. We just have to get past our issues. It's like, Travis, you're not a guy that can set up the video camera in my house, and I'm not the guy that give you the water. Just can't do it. It's just not our thing. We're not meant to be married there. You're a great videographer, but you freak me out with where you put the cup. And I'm neurotic about the cup, and I can't undo that. This is life, right? We tried to get married, and it just didn't work. And divorce is okay. But you know what? You have to address the tikkun still. You can't just divorce and say, he's no good. He didn't get it. He doesn't know where to put the water. Yeah. So, we have issues. Divorce is real. You got to make up. But if you acknowledge that you're trapped, acknowledge that the marriage exists, then the Torah comes down. The faster you do that, you give the man a coaster. That's the whole point. I've been around this block before. You know what? Every videographer in the world doesn't know where to put the cup, I learned. It wasn't Travis. And then you can say, well, people that are videographers are horrible people. Okay, and you're not going to incriminate mankind. So get over it. Just man up and say, here, I understand you're a videographer. Can I give you a coaster? Leave the guy alone. He's not trying to be the ultimate cup guy. Right? He's a videographer. Videographers are flawed like we all are. They don't know where to put the cup. Okay, you're a videographer. Let me give you a cup. Right? You're Israeli, you say. Let me get you some hummus and pita bread. And remember what we said. The law rebuke comes from cultural law. Right? I know that videographers don't know where to put their cups. It's a cultural thing. Because they don't have notes. They only have videos. They don't write anything down. They only take videos. So anyways, I think this is where we're at, guys. You see this? It's very complicated. Very simple and very complicated. To know wisdom. Oh, wow. Wow. This just entered my brain. Brian Stanek. Look at this. Look at this. We spent like 3 months on to know wisdom. Is that correct? And that is of the mind. Is that correct? So then where does instruction come? To the body. Solomon's telling you to know wisdom and instruction. Stop being moron man. Open your mind, muscle your brain, and prepare your body to receive instruction. Because when you get into wisdom, you will get into physical bodily instruction. It is an inevitable aspect of life. Because God gives you wisdom from people. And the Vilna Gaon says, how do you become wise? Talking to man. You will upset mankind because they don't have wisdom. If they're giving you wisdom, guess what you're not doing? You're not giving them wisdom. You think you are, but you're not. You're giving them instruction, and they give you instruction. And then from that, you get the wisdom. That's it. You're not. There's no such thing as the gevuras of life not existing. If I'm giving you wisdom, I'm really giving you instruction. You're giving me instruction, but you're really giving me wisdom. And then I can give you wisdom. And it just goes nonstop. This is nonstop. It's like, paper, scissors, rock. I give you paper, you give me scissors. Then I give you scissors, you go rock. I give you wisdom. You might recognize the wisdom, and you say, hey, I was going to ask you about a coaster. Or you took it as an insult. You took it as instruction. Then you beat me up, and I didn't understand why you beat me up. I took it as wisdom. But I know your type. You're a rude guy. You have no wisdom. You're just beating me up, and I know that. So let me find out how to avoid being beat up. Now I got wisdom because I realized it wasn't the instruction. Welcome to life. It's like in Breakfast Club when Bender says to Andrew the wrestler, I think your old man and my old man should get together and go bowling. I think we found a big secret tonight, guys. Very, very, very big secret. Instruction is a pretty powerful thing. It really exists in the mind and the body. It's all 10 sefirot. I think if you can understand instruction and handle it and recognize it, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. I can only imagine what to discern the words of understanding are. I'm guessing that to discern the words of understanding, that's how you can probably receive what's called this word in Hebrew. This is the word. I'll type it for you. Look up that word. That is the ability to recognize the pile before it piles up. Right? Those are the words of understanding. Right? When I said, Brian, can I get you something to drink? You need to know my words of understanding. Right? It sounds like a kind thing I'm doing to you. Hey, Brian, you're thirsty, right? I'm actually putting you in jail. Hey, Brian, don't put your cup over there. That's what I really meant when I said, hey, Brian, can I get you a drink? So this is what you have to get good at. The real wisdom is not to know wisdom and instruction. We assume you know that. And I'm sure just from my own knowledge, but we'll see, to discern the words of understanding. You need to pick up on those words before you get put in jail and trapped. Then you still have to learn the words, but we're going to put you to the test. You know, you're going to find yourself in conversations, read my lips. You hear what I'm telling you? Don't do it again. Nobody wants it to get to that point. And it doesn't have to. The quicker you get to understanding people's kind words, you never have to suffer the rod and wrath of God. And that means that you receive the Torah and its original shefa, the light, before it becomes